Kun tamsaasa GO17 tiubiiti. GO17 tiubiin tamsaasa isaa idileessee barnoota ji'oogiraafii kutaa 12ffaa gaaffilee 20 boqonnaawwan 1 hanga 5tti barnoota seemisteera kanaadhaaf ta'u keessa. Haaluma biiroon barnoota Oromiyaa qormaata moodelaa barattoota kutaa 12ffaadhaaf seemisteera 1ffaa keessatti qopheessuun gaaffilee qophaa'an qabatee gara keessanitti kan dhiyaatedha. Kanaaf GO17 tiubii waliin turuun qayyabannaa keessan akka cimsitan kabajaan isin gaafadha. Akkam jirtu barattoota? Nagaa keessanii? Nageenyi keenya kabajaa fi jaalalaa iddoo isin jirtan hundumatti isin faana haa ta'u. Har'a viidiyoo kana keessatti gaaffilee 20 boqonnaa lammaffaa keessaatii qabadhee isiniif dhiyaadheera. Kanaafuu ana waliin turuun akka qayyabattan gamanumaan isin yaadachiisa. Miseensa keenya kan hin ta'in GO17 tiubii subscribe gochuudhaan miseensummaa keessan akka dhugoomfattan yeroon isin yaadachiisu kabajaan. Miseensonni keenya waggoota 2 fi isaa oliidhaaf nu waliin turtan ammoo akkuma bartan viidiyoon keenya vaariyaalii akka bahuu fi namoota hedduu bira akka gahuudhaaf share, like, comment gochuun miidiyaa keenya akka jajjabeessitan kasoomina guddaadhaan isin gaafadha. Lesson number 1. Which natural proxy provides long-term records of past atmospheric composition and temperature? A. Tree rings only. B. Ice cores containing trapped air bubbles and isotopes. C. Modern thermometers exclusively. D. Newspaper archives only. Good. Here, ice cores store ancient air and isotopic records for temperature and greenhouse gases. As a result, the correct answer is B. Ice cores containing trapped air bubbles and isotopes are a natural proxy which provides long-term records of past atmospheric composition and temperature. Why? A, C, and D are not the answer. Because tree rings are useful, but it indicates the shorter timeline, while thermometers are modern, and also newspapers are anecdotal, which is narrating theories and the written materials. So is not the answer. As a result, as I have said, B is the correct answer. Question number 2. Which feedback amplifies warming as ice melts? A. Ice-Albedo feedback. B. Negative feedback. C. Water boil feedback. D. Lunar albedo feedback. Excellent. Here, loss of reflective ice increases absorption and amplifying warming. As a result, ice-albedo feedback is amplifying warming as ice becomes melt. Why B, C, and D are not the answer? Because negative feedback is the opposite direction, while water boil feedback and lunar albedo feedback are irrelevant to the question. So, A is correctly the answer. Question number 3. Which carbon reservoir holds the largest amount of carbon on geologic time scale? Remember, students, this question was asked in entrance of 2016. So, A. Atmosphere only. B. Lithosphere. C. Surface ocean only. D. Plants only. Very good. Here, most carbon is stored in rocks and sediments over long time scale. So, Lithosphere is one of the most storage area of carbon. B is the correct answer. Why A, C, and D are not? Because atmosphere and biosphere stores a small composition of carbon comparatively, while ocean holds large dissolved carbon. Question number 4. Which activity is a clear anthropogenic source of increased carbon dioxide concentration? A. Volcanic outpassing only. B. Burning fossil fuels and deforestation. C. Natural respiration only. D. Plate tectonics. Burning fossil fuels and deforestation are anthropogenic sources of increasing carbon dioxide. Combustion and land use change add carbon dioxide beyond the natural sinks. As a result, B is the correct answer. Why A, C, D are not the answer? Because volcanic or tectonics are natural background fluxes, smaller relative to recent anthropogenic emission. Question number 5. Which evidence supports 20th 21st century global warming? A. Stable glacier extents and falling sea level. B. Glacier retreat. C. Cooling ocean everywhere. D. More ice at both poles than before industrial eras. Glacier retreat means the increment of glacier. This is the effect of global warming. As glaciers are becomes melt, the observed trends confirm warming. That is glacier retreat. As a result, B is the correct answer. Others, A, C, D, are the contradict observations. Question number 6. Which greenhouse gas has the highest global warming potential per kilogram over 100 years? A. Carbon dioxide. B. Methane. C. Nitrous oxide. D. Oxygen. Nitrous oxide has the highest global warming potential per kilogram over 100 years because it has highest global warming potential per kilogram than methane when measured over specific time horizons and along the atmospheric lifetime. Carbon dioxide has lower global warming potential per kilogram, while oxygen is not greenhouse gas. C is the correct answer. Barattoota, gaaffileen kun akka isin fayyadan abdii guddaan qaba. Iddoowwan gaaffileen kun ba'an kitaaba keessan, kitaaba barataa, ji'oogiraafii kutaa 12ffaa boqonnaa 2 tartiibaan fuula jalqabaarraa qabdanii akka iddoo gaaffileen kun ba'an deemtanii dubbistan isin yaadachiisuun barbaada. ተማሪዎች እነዚህ ጥያቄዎች የወጡባቸው ገጽ በገጽ የ12ኛ ክፍል ጂኦግራፊ ትምህርት ምዕራፍ 2ን በደንብ እንድታነቡና እንድትዘጋጁ አሳስባችኋለሁ። Question number 7. Which of the following is a negative climate feedback? A. Increased plant growth. B. Ice-Albedo feedback. C. Permafrost thawing. D. Increasing water vapor. Good. Increased plant growth helps to decrease storage of carbon from the atmosphere. Why? Because plants are consuming carbon dioxide for the sake of preparing their food through the process of photosynthesis. So, A is the correct answer. Here, plant growth removes carbon dioxide from atmosphere. It is the negative feedback. The enhanced carbon dioxide uptake by plants can partially offset carbon dioxide rise. B, C, D are positive or they are the amplifying feedback. Positive dha gaafa jennu ho'a atmosfeera keessatti ni dabalu. Negative gaafa jennu immoo ho'a naannoo keenya irraatii ni xiqqeessu jechuudha. Fakkeenyaaf biqiloota gaafa dhaabnu adeemsa footosynthesisiidhaan nyaata isaanii qopheeffachuudhaaf jecha kaarboon daayoksayidii atmosfeera keessatti walitti qabamee jiru xuuxu. Kun immoo hanga kaarbanii xiqqeessu. Kana jechuun negatiivii keessa galchuu jechuudha. Cilee yeroo gubnu, bosona yeroo mancaasnu ho'insi naannoo akka dabalu taasisnu. Kun immoo pozitiiviidha. Ifaadha miti barattoota. Gaariidha. Yaada qabdan karaa komantii akkana beeksistan. Question number 8. Which of the following is adaptation mechanism than mitigation? Gaaffiin kun kallattiidhaan gaaffii qormaata entiraansii bara 2017 keessatti bahee jirudha. Gaaffilee akkasii shaakaluun bu'aa qabeessa jedhee waan itti amanuuf Geolesson 17 tiyuubiin gaaffii kana qopheessee isiniif fideera. Isinis faana dha'uudhaan kitaaba keessan iddoo gaaffileen kun ba'an deemtanii akka sakattaatan dhaamsa barsiisummaa koon isiniif dabarsa. A. Reforestation to sequester carbon dioxide. B. Building flood defenses and sea walls. C. Carbon pricing to reduce emissions. D. Phasing out coal power. Very good. Adaptation is the way in which we decrease vulnerability than cutting off. So, building flood defenses and the sea walls is the adaptation mechanism, while the others are mitigation. So the answer is B, and A, C, D are the mitigation strategies. Okay, phasing out coal power is the way to eradicate the power of emission. Carbon pricing to reduce emission is also mitigation. Reforestation to sequester carbon dioxide is also what? Mitigation. Mitigation jechuun xiqqeessuu, balleessuu jechuudha. Gaafa biqilaa deebisnee bosonoomsinu yookiin misoomsinu kuufama kaarbanii atmosfeera keessa jiru akka xuuxu gochuudhaan naannoon akka hin faalamne gochuu dandeenya. Faallaa isaatiin garuu flood defense mechanismii gaafa guddisnu, katara gaafa dhaabnu balaa lolaadhaan nutti dhufuu danda'u ofirraati xiqqeessinaa jechuudha. Kuni maalidha? Adaptation yookiin dandamannaadha. Question number 9. Which measurement shows atmospheric greenhouse gas increase directly over centuries? A. Tree ring width only. B. Air bubbles trapped in polar ice cores. C. Anecdotal diaries from explorers. D. Modern smartphone apps only. Excellent. Ice core bubbles preserve past atmospheric composition. So, here, air bubbles trapped in polar ice cores showing carbon dioxide concentrations. As a result, air bubbles trapped in polar ice cap is the measurement that shows atmospheric greenhouse gas increases directly over centuries. B is the correct answer. Why the others are wrong? Tree rings infer climate, but it is not detailed atmospheric greenhouse gas concentration. Others are inadequate to the question. Question number 10. Which sector is a major target for Ethiopia's climate resiliency green economy pillar of improving crop and livestock production practices? A. Heavy industry only. B. Agriculture. C. Maritime shipping only. D. Space exploration. In fact, climate resiliency green economy prioritizes less emitting agricultural productivities. Climate resiliency green economy prioritizes low emission agricultural intensification. As a result, agriculture B is the correct answer. Agriculture increasing yields while reducing emissions from land use change. Why the others are not? Because heavy industry, shipping, and space are not the primary target for climate resiliency green economy pillars. So as I have said, B is the correct answer. Question number 11, which is unanticipated climatic impacts in many low latitude regions. A. More frequent droughts and unpredictable rainfall patterns. B. Universal cooling everywhere. C. Immediate recovery of coral reefs globally. D. Permanent elimination of rainy seasons everywhere. Very good. Climate projections indicate intensifying hydrological extremes in many low latitudes. So, more frequent droughts and unpredictable rainfall patterns are the anticipated climatic impact in many low latitude regions. So, A is the correct answer. Why the others are wrong? Universal cooling everywhere, immediate recovery of coral reefs globally, and permanent elimination of rainy seasons everywhere are incorrect. Question number 12. Which international agreement specifically aim to limit global temperature rise in 21st century? Barattoota, kunis qormaata keessan intiraansii barattoonni bara 2017 2016tti qoraman keessa kan dhufedha. Kanaaf akka isin itti qophooftaniidhaaf Lesson 17 Tiyubiin bifa kanaan gaaffii kana qabatee isiniif dhiyaateera. Isinis akka hin daganneedhaaf dhaamsa barsiisummaa koon isiniif dabarsa. A. Kyoto Protocol only. B. Paris Agreement. C. Antarctic Treaty. D. NAFTA Trade Agreement. Well done. Paris is the global framework for post-2020 mitigation commitments. As a result, B is the correct answer. Others are not the answer because Kyoto Protocol predated Paris and also had different mechanisms. Antarctic Treaty or NAFTA are unrelated to the international specific aim to limit global temperature rise in 21st century. Question number 13. Which phenomena is a direct result of thermal expansion of seawater? A. Sea level rise in addition to glacier melt. B. Immediate decrease in sea level. C. Formation of mountain glaciers. D. Increased tectonic plate speed. Very good. Warmer water expands and contributing to sea level rise alongside melting ice. So, A is the correct answer. The sea level rise in addition to glacier melt is a phenomena which is a direct result of thermal expansion of seafloor. Others are not the answer because immediate decrease in sea level is not leads to increment of seawater. Again, formation of mountain glaciers is wrong. Why? Because glaciers are formed when the temperature is cooler, and also increased tectonic plate speed is unrelated. Question number 14. Which of these is an example of planned adaptation? A. Government developing drought resilient water management strategies in advance. B. Individuals improvising responses only after disaster. C. reacting to flares without planning. D. Ignoring climate forecasts entirely. Excellent, students. Government developing drought-resilient water management strategy in advance is an example of planned adaptation. So, A is the correct answer. Planned adaptation involves policy and infrastructural anticipatory measures. The others, for example, individuals improvising responses only after disaster is reactive or neglectful. Another, reacting to floods without planning is also reactive after the occurrence of the disaster. Ignoring climate forecasts entirely is neglectful. Question number 15. Which measured long-term trend indicates increasing greenhouse gas forcing? A. Stationary atmospheric carbon dioxide concentrations since pre-industrial times. B. Rising atmospheric carbon dioxide measured at observatories like Mauna Loa. C. Universal global cooling since 1900s. D. No changes in ice cover anywhere. Egaa intiraansii keessatti filannoon akkas dhedheeratus waan jiruudhaaf filannoowwan dhedheeraa akkasiis akka shaakaltaniidhaaf gaaffii kana qabadhee isiniif dhiyaadheera. Keessatti of ilaaluun hojii keessan haa ta'u. Rising atmospheric carbon dioxide measured at observatories like Mauna Loa is a long-term trend indicating increasing carbon dioxide gas forcing. B is the correct answer. So, here, direct atmospheric monitoring shows the steady rise of carbon dioxide. B is the correct answer. A, C, D are contradicting observed data. Question number 16. Which sectors decarbonization has large potential co-benefits for Ethiopia under climate resiliency green economy? A. Agricultural improvements. B. Increasing deforestation to expand farmland. C. Cancelling renewable energy projects. D. Growing fossil fuel-based industries only. The major aim of climate resiliency green economy policy is, in one hand, enhancing nutritional improvements. This nutrition can improve via agricultural improvements. On the other hand, decreasing the environmental emission. So, agricultural improvements is a sector that decarbonization large potential co-benefits for Ethiopia under climate resiliency green economy. Okay? Climate resiliency green economy in Ethiopia karaa tokkoon wabii nyaataa mirkaneessuudha. Karaa biraatiin immoo faalama qilleensa naannoo keessa jiru xiqqeessuudha. So, A is the correct answer. More efficient agriculture raises yields while reducing emissions per output unit. This matching the climate resilience green economy aim. Excellent. A is the correct answer. Others contradicting green growth. Question number 17. Which statement about methane is correct? Waa'ee methane ilaalchisee sirrii kan ta'e kami? Sila methane asmalkutoo ትክክል የሆነው የቱ ነው? A. Methane has a shorter atmospheric lifetime than carbon dioxide, but a higher near-term warming potency per unit mass. B. Methane lasts longer than carbon dioxide and is less potent per kilogram. C. Methane is inert and not a greenhouse gas. D. Methane reduces global warming by cooling the atmosphere. The global warming potency of methane is higher. It tends to 20 to 100 years, but it decays faster. Here, methane global warming potential is high. It reaches 20 to 100 years, but it decays faster than carbon dioxide. So, A that states methane has shorter atmospheric lifetime than carbon dioxide, but a higher near-term warming potency per unit mass is the correct answer. Question number 18. Which adaptation priority addresses food security under changing rainfall regimes? A. Promoting drought-tolerant crop varieties and improved water management. C. Removing irrigation infrastructure to save costs. C. Encouraging monocultural or marginal lands only. D. Ban all agricultural research. It is fact. Drought-tolerant crop varieties and improved water management is adaptation, which needs a priority addresses food security under changing rainfall regimes. So A is the correct answer. The other measures are increasing resilience to rainfall variability. So they are not the answer. The measures that increases resilience to rainfall variability is the most important adaptation that needs priority to address food security under changing rainfall regimes. But the others are the reduction of resilience. Question number 19. Which observation supports anthropogenic influence rather than purely natural variability? A rapid rise in carbon dioxide coinciding with industrial era fossil fuel use. B. Carbon dioxide levels decreasing since industrialization. C. No change in ocean heat content over decades. D. A single volcanic eruption causing permanent warming. Excellent. A rapid rise in carbon dioxide, which coinciding with industrial era by using fossil fuel, is an observation support anthropogenic influences. So A is the correct answer. Carbon dioxide levels decreasing since industrialization. This is false. Carbon dioxide level becomes increasing. Okay. No change in ocean heat content over decades. No. A single volcanic eruption causing permanent warming. No. Okay. So, isotopic and temporal evidence links emissions to human activities. As a result, A is the correct answer. Others do not reflect observed long-term trends. Question number 20. Which approach reduces both emissions and vulnerabilities in rural communities? Wow. The most important question that expected to appear on your national exam. Gaaffileen akkasii qormaata keessan 2018 irratti ni dhufu jedhamanii amanamu. Kanaaf akkaataa kanaatiin dubbisuunis baay'ee barbaachisaadha. A. Integrated land management. B. Encouraging slash and burn. C. Isolating communities from all external assistance. D. Promoting only short-term cash crops that degrade soils. Excellent. I think you have said the answer is A. Integrated land management helps to reduce both emission and vulnerability in rural communities. But encouraging slash and burn increases emissions and vulnerability in rural. so it is not the answer. Isolating communities from all external assistance is also negative view that expose the local communities to vulnerability. Promoting only short-term cash crops that degrade soils is also environmentally unadvisable, which increases vulnerability. As a result, A is the correct answer. Here, integrated land management that enhances carbon sequestration and improves livelihood, which means mitigation and adaptation co-benefits. Chaanalii keessan Geolesson 17 Tube waan daawwattaniif galatooma. Geolesson 17 Tube chaanalaachun sila gobanyaachuu አመሰግናለሁ. Geolesson 17 Tube chaanalii milkoomina egeree dhalootaaf dhimmu.